Hello everyone, this is Preeti here, and our today's topic is management theories and approaches. Under this, we are going to see the administrative management theory, which was given by Henri Fayol. Coming to the presentation outline, where we are going to see the classical school of theory. Under this, Introduction to Administrative Management Theory, given by Henri Fayol, his 6 primary functions of management, his business activities, his managerial skills that the manager should possess, the 14 most important principles of management given by Henri Fayol, some of the examples of the companies that follow the Fayol's principles even today, and some of the limitations of Fayol's theory. An interesting fact for today is wealth out of waste. Some top 10 recycling business in India. Coming to classical school introduction to administrative management theory. This administrative management theory, which was developed by Henri Fayol, who was born in 1841, who was a prolific writer on technical and scientific matters as well as management. His very simple model explains of how the management interacts with personnel or employees in 5 basic ways, namely forecasting, planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, or controlling, in order to control and plan the production process. His outstanding writing was Industrial and General Management. He developed the personality as a researcher and practitioner and was called the father of general management, whereas F.W. Taylor was called the father of the scientific management. He developed the theory of functional management or management process, and he designed his principles for top level management and insists on management efficiency. Whereas F.W. Taylor, who is the author of scientific management theory, insists on productivity. He was one of the most influential contributors in modern management concepts who proposed that management has 6 basic or main primary functions. Fayol 6 primary functions of management, which are forecasting, planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. Coming to Henri Fayol, who has classified the business activities as technical, which leads with production, commercial, which deals with buying, selling, and exchange of products. Third is financial, where sources and use of funds are discussed. Fourth one is accounting, which deals with auditing and statistics. Fifth one is about the security, where the protection of property is discussed. And sixth one is a management activity, that is POTS Corp. P for planning, O for organizing, D for directing, S for staffing, CO for coordinating, R for reporting, and B for budgeting. Coming to Henri Fayol's requirement of managers' qualities and skills, which are physical. The employee should have a very good physical health or good health. They should have a mental stability, that is ability to learn, understand, and adaptable. Third one, which is nothing but the moral qualities like fairness and integrity with others. Fourth one is the education, where the employee should possess some general knowledge about the environment. Fifth one is technical, where they should be expert in their own field of specializations. Sixth one is the experience. They should be able to deal with unexpected situations very easily and solve the problems with a good solutions. Seventh one is the business quality, where the acquaintance of accounting principle is done. Coming to 14 important principles, which was given by Henri Fayol, where it is applicable to most of the organizations even today. So first one is a division of work, where the work must be divided according to the skills and specializations of the employees. For example, there are 4 groups, namely A, B, C, and D, which are different in skills and specializations. For example, some employees are good in financial skills, so they are put it in financial department. Some are good at marketing skills, so they are placed in marketing department, etc. Coming to second one, authority and responsibility. Authority means power to take decisions by the top management, and responsibility means an obligation to complete the job assigned on time. So there is a top level, middle level, lower level, and the workers are there. These were the levels of management, where the authority comes from the top to the lower level, and the responsibility of the workers goes from the bottom to the top. Coming to the third one, which is nothing but the discipline. The employees must obey and respect the rules and regulations which governs the organization. For example, if smoking is not allowed inside the organization campus, then the employees must obey such rules and regulations which governs the organization. Coming to the fourth one, which is nothing but the unity of command, where every employee should receive order or instruction from only one superior or one boss, else it leads to conflict or confusion. So for one subordinate or for one employee, there should be one boss or one superior. That is called unity of command. Fifth one is unity of direction. We know that the company has its own core values, vision, mission, objectives, or goals. So the entire organization should be moving towards such common objectives in a common direction. This principle promotes a unity of action. This is a picture which shows the unity of direction. Coming to sixth one, which is nothing but the subordination of individual interest to the general interest. This is a very important principle which is mostly followed in many organizations. The primary focus should be given to the organizational interest rather than the employee's personal interest. That is what it is called as subordination of individual interest to the general interest. This is a picture which shows that the employee should give preference to the organizational interest rather than the individual interests. Coming to the seventh one, which is nothing but the remuneration of personnel. The organization should have a very good policy to give fair wages or salary to employees for their very good performance. Eighth one is centralization and decentralization. Centralization means the decision making authority takes place in the top levels of management, that is, from top to bottom. Decentralization means decision making authority takes place in the lower levels of management. This is an example of centralization and decentralization. Coming to ninth one, which is nothing but the scalar chain. Scalar chain means line of authority from highest to lowest rank, where the communication like messages, requests, orders, or instructions should follow this chain. For example, in this picture, it has an upward communication and downward communication. Like the communication of messages, requests, orders, or instructions should go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then E, D, C, B, A. If there comes a situation that they have to contact directly, then they use the horizontal communication, which is called the gangplank, which is very flexible in communicating between the same departments. Coming to the 10th one, which is nothing but the order, there should be a systematic arrangement of people and material in an organization for efficiency and coordination. So, right message given to the right person at the right time is very important. 11th one is equity, which means that the management should maintain the equity without any discrimination of sex, age, gender, etc. among the employees to create the cordial relations within the workers. So men and women are equal pay for equal work are some of the examples of equity principle. 12th one, stability of tenure. The management should strive for minimum employees turnover, that is, the job security should be given to the employees to maximize efficiency and output. Coming to the 13th principle, which is nothing but the initiative. Employees should be allowed to take initiative to carry out new plans, new ideas, and new methods of work in an organization. 14th one is nothing but esprit de corps, which is nothing but harmony and team spirit. The management should promote team spirit, unity, and harmony among employees. This helps to build the mutual trust and understanding in workplace. So this is the picture which shows harmony or team spirit within the organization, which helps them to increase the productivity in the organization. These 14 principles of management are useful to manage an organization and are beneficial for prediction, planning, decision making, organization, and process management, control, and coordination. So these were the 14 important principles which was given by Henri Fayol, and it is called as general principles of management. Here are some of the examples where the companies follows the general principles of management. So there are 14 principles of management which was given by Henri Fayol, namely division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, remuneration of personnel, centralization and decentralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure, initiative, and esprit de corps. So some of the companies which are following one or more of these principles even today are ITC, Cadbury, McDonald's, Domino's, Google, TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Reliance Fresh, Bharati Airtel, Adidas, Costco, Marriott Hotels, and even some government organizations which follows the scalar chain very strictly. Coming to the limitations in general management principles, the administrative management theory is management oriented, where it does not give attention to the problem of the workers, and it also ignores the customer needs, as it is very important in running the business. This theory is based on intuition and observation of his own personal experience rather than the practical research. Today's organizations run on creativity, innovation, and decentralization rather than the command and control process. This theory is not suitable for modern businesses, as today's business is highly complex and unpredictable in nature. So, in some places, the general management principle doesn't work. Coming for an interesting topic of today, which is nothing but wealth out of waste. turning the waste into a wealth. Some of the top 10 recycling business opportunities are given here. We know that recycling is the best business opportunity, having tremendous growth in India at a very low investment from 3 to 15 lakhs. The garbage or the scrap magnitude is increasing day by day at a staggering rate. The top 10 recycling business ideas are aluminium waste recycling, which uses aluminium cans, food waste recycling, where the food waste is converted into electrical power. Third is a waste collection center. If they don't have enough capital, then they go for waste collection center. Fourth is paper recycling, where the waste papers are recycled into cardboards or paper rolls or paper bags. Fifth one is electronic waste recycling. Certain precautions should be needed while doing the electronic waste recycling, but if it is done, it is profitable. Sixth one is recycling of scrap gold, importing the scrap gold from the local stores and then remelting and reshaping it into a useful material. Seventh is a construction and reliable waste recycling, where the solid waste is recycled and made into bricks and used for construction purpose again. Eighth is the recycling of tires, where the scrap rubbers are made and it is useful for construction sites. Ninth is a vermicompost, where we make use of fertilizers, which doubles the profit. 10th is a plastic recycling, where we are going to recycle the plastic and get a reasonable profit. In this picture, I have shown how to save Mother Earth. So first is to reduce the usage of resources. Second is to reuse the products again if possible. Third is the recycling of waste materials into useful products. I hope you like this video. For more videos, keep watching this channel and subscribe to this channel. Thank you.